What's up, y'all? Just want to make this quick video to cover the contents inside the Road to the Open folder. So at the start of the 8 weeks, you got to choose between one of four goals, whether that be gymnastics skills, strength progression, intensity progression, or aesthetic preference. So along the lines, I provided programming to fit all those needs and gave you all the programming. But of course, I want you to focus on the program of the goal that you chose so that we can see those skills or strength metrics improve over time. But just to cover them all quickly, first off, we have our healthy habits, which is just a easy reference or cheat sheet that I've used in the past and seen success with, just as far as, again, giving you kind of a baseline for things. So habits worth tracking, resting heart rate can be nice to look at, hours of sleep, time spent outside, daily steps, ounces of water on a daily basis. If you care or can manage to get a accurate calorie intake on a daily basis for like a week. Exercise trends, so how have you been feeling, how are your numbers, progressive overload looking, and then time spent where. So there's an app I use called Lifecycle. It's like $10 a year, but you put in a couple addresses like home, work, gym, whatever. It tracks the amount of time you spend in each of those places. It'll track hours of sleep, number of steps, and it's cool when you can kind of see all these trends kind of aiding one another, as in good trends benefit good trends. As far as nutrition is concerned, this is just kind of a blanket statement, not actual nutrition advice, but just a reference that's been useful for me. 0.85 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That helps support lean muscle mass. 0.65 grams per pound of 0.65 grams of fat per pound of body weight. It's going to help support thyroid function, energy levels, and then carbs are going to fill in the remainder of your needs. So I like to say a reference of 1 to 2 times of your lean body mass. If we are trying to gain weight, we need to be in a calorie surplus. If we're trying to lose weight, we need to be in a calorie deficit. The calories are going to come from the carbs. I do want you maintaining this as kind of a baseline for protein, again, for the sake of lean muscle mass. And then the fat needs to remain about the same, again, for thyroid hormone function. Fish oil, always useful, just more energy, some good fat for you. Multivitamin never hurts, probiotics can be useful, and protein and creatine definitely helps out. So this 0.85 can be a little rough to meet on a daily basis. A scoop of protein can be super useful. Just find some that sits well for you. For creatine, creatine phosphate is going to be what's oxidized in the muscle, more or less. That's what you burn as your fuel for energy. So creatine doesn't make you stronger, doesn't make you bigger, it just provides more fuel readily available during your exercise bouts. Does need a good 2 weeks or so to establish itself in your system. That way it's kind of actively used, and it does need to be taken on a daily basis, more or less at the same time. So I have a protein scoop, creatine scoop, banana, and Greek yogurt every day at about 9:30 for my daily shake. So. And then just some best practices as I've seen fit down at the bottom, things that help me make these things worth tracking more notable or benefit them. And again, some useful apps. This is just kind of a breathing app. I could dive a little bit into like CO2 tolerance. CrossFitters typically have a high one. So people that are intolerant to CO2 buildup in the system are typically very sensitive to stressful activities, whether that be exercise or hitting the red light or road rage kind of thing. So this can just help kind of bring you to a center or a little more of a baseline for stress management. Elevate Performance is just a mind game app. So if you're someone that is interested in just having kind of an expanded repertoire of mathematical skills or just a sharper mind, prevent Alzheimer's, things of that nature. So the more you use it, the less you'll lose it. And then Lifecycle app, one I talked about up here. So $10 a year, just useful for kind of tracking trends over time. Implementing a daily routine that shapes an environment to produce the best you. So don't become the inevitable product of an environment that happened to you. Happened to your environment. Anyways, so that's your healthy habits, and then we have our tracking. So we have some body metrics. If you go to Max Muscle, get your in-body done so we can get lean body mass, body fat percentage. Very useful. If you care to do the measurements, even if you didn't get the aesthetic goal, that's a-okay. Just let me know at any time before a workout. These will be a little more aerobic conditioning metrics. Here's our gymnastics metrics, and then here's your strength metrics. And you'll just put in whatever your start was and potentially what your goal is, and then we can evaluate 2, 4, 6 weeks out, and then week 8 we'll see if we hit our goal. And then if you care to put in your training schedule so you can get an idea of what a consistent total sessions on a weekly basis puts us. What matters to us should be measured. The more accurately we can measure and track trends over time without it being a big stress in our day, it'll probably be of benefit. And then lastly, just to touch base on our programs real quick. So for one, the bodybuilder program. So this is a 4-week, 4-day-a-week program with an upper-lower split. So yeah, just an appropriate progressive overload. If you feel like there's some CrossFit movements you're really good at, but absolutely suck at, like pressing compared to like your bench press, or you feel your squats are way weak compared to your deadlift, this would be a good program to kind of help shape and even things up. Again, just providing a baseline. Or if you notice like my single arm activities or single activities are always bad on X side, again, this would really help kind of shape things up. So if you're ever in a mood where CrossFit's got you burnt out a little bit, or you just want to focus on maybe some beach body before summertime, this would definitely be an appropriate program for it. Or if you just had the aesthetic goals, A-okay if you replace class with this for time being. For our gymnastics progressions, again, we have 8 weeks here. This is 3 days a week. Just trying to provide a minimum effective dose, with day 1 being pull-up or vertical pulling bias, day 2 being a little more core oriented, and day 3 being more handstand oriented. So I do need y'all to be successful on the opening weeks to establish that baseline, and that's where we're going to progressively overload or increase after. So as long as you're just trying to do 1 second longer or a little bit faster or a little bit heavier every single week, that's all I'm looking for, which means we do need 1 week where we are absolutely successful on everything. So preferably week 1, but if you found you kind of failed or fell off, let's say you had like round 1, 20, round 2, 15, round 3, 10 seconds, and then round 4 and round 5, you got less than 10 seconds. Well, then let's just back off to like the 5-minute EMOM. Let's go 10 seconds, make it all 5 rounds, and then just keep building off of that. So all I care to see is that we're quite literally just 1 rep, 1 second, or 1 pound better than we were last week. So establish that successful week first. If you'll have any questions on the movements or how you should be addressing them, please let me know. Intensity progression, same concept. You have 8 weeks to be increasing your intensity, adding a rep here and there, or setting some standards for yourself with unbroken wall ball sets, or knowing what weight you're able to manage at what rep scheme, things of that nature. So the fun stuff. And then your strength progression, again, same concept. So here you have 3 rounds of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Within that 30 seconds, you just need to get 15 reps. Whatever comes first, the 15 or the 30 seconds, you stop. So let's say round 1, I got 15 front squats. Round 2, I got 15 front squats. Round 3, I got 12. But I got all 3 rounds, I was successful with my pull-ups. So then the next week that this workout pops up, I'm going to maintain the same weight on the front squat, and I'll find a harder variation for my pull-ups. So let's say I did ring rows here, but I was successful for all 15. Then maybe on this week, I'll go to assisted pull-ups with my feet on the ground, barbell in the rig. Or vice versa, had I been successful at all the front squats, I would just go up in weight on the next time this workout pops up. Again, just so we're at least a pound, a rep, or a second better. So that should cover the road to the open folder. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can catch me in class or feel free to text me or email me, yada yada. So other than that, we have a bunch of opportunities planned for y'all to be able to come into the gym outside of your standard class hours. So stay on the lookout for Anthony's gymnastics classes at 5:15 on the first and third Wednesday of the month. And then I'll basically be at the gym every Saturday or Sunday, more or less, at either 8 or 9 a.m., depending on the day, to offer educational or training opportunities to be addressing your goals. So, again, let me know if y'all need anything. Good luck, enjoy the ride, and I'll catch y'all at some point. Peace out, y'all.